Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have progressed to the fourth round of the FA Cup because we've just beaten Watford 1-0 at Old Trafford. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made 9 changes. 6 of the 11 that started were academy graduates. Our goal came from Scott McTominay in the 5th minute. It was a header and it was Alex Telles that had got the assist. Now certainly was a poor performance by Manchester United. For the vast majority of the game, I thought in the first 20 minutes we dominated the game. No, we kept the ball well, we passed the ball well. We showed good attacking intent. We also defended well. We did have chances in the game. Daniel James, he had a few chances early on. I thought he started the first 5 or 10 minutes good, and then all of a sudden he wasn't that good. Bay had a chance that just went wide. Watford, they also had a lot of shots in the game. I've just read some of the stats of the game. I think we must have had around 19 shots and we created around 16 chances. By the way, Eric Bay went off with a head injury. I think it was Dean Henderson that come through, kicked Eric Bay, was it? But that's very, very bad news. Tuanzebe, I thought he had a pretty good game. Obviously, cleared the ball off the line. That chance, I think, came from Adam Massina. But it was obviously Eric Bay that had made the error. And I thought Tuanzebe's cover alongside Bay and Harry Maguire was very, very good. Brandon Williams, I don't think he enjoyed the best of games. I think that was Brandon Williams' first start, was it, for Man United since the 3-0 win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Brandon Williams was playing at right back. Dean Henderson, he had some fine saves to make, and like I mentioned, he had some erratic moments, but it's good that Dean Henderson has kept another clean sheet. As I said, Dean Henderson at some point will become our number 1. Alex Telles, I was also impressed with him at left back. I thought he got forward well. Like I mentioned, he got the assist for McTominay's goal, and he put some dangerous crosses into the box. I've got to give a lot of credit to Donny van der Beek. I thought he also enjoyed a good game. His composure was good. His passing was also very, very good. He was actually playing in an unexpected role. He was obviously playing alongside McTominay. Solskjaer did confirm that Donny van der Beek, by the way, was going to start this game. Solskjaer has said that he doesn't want Donny van der Beek to leave the club. Solskjaer insists that he has a bright future at Manchester United, and don't forget, he tips Donny van der Beek to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the club. Donny van der Beek seldom starts in the Premier League though. He's only started 2 games in the league at the moment, and that was obviously against West Ham and Southampton. We did get him in a deal worth £40 million. Paid 35 million up front with 5 million in add-ons. So yeah, there was some good performers. I thought Bay did quite well, until he came off. I thought he defended well, and his contributions were good at the back. Mason Greenwood, don't think he had much of an impact on the game. Jesse Lingard, he was obviously playing in that number 10 role. I don't think he's made an appearance yet in the Premier League this season. Obviously, Jesse Lingard has lost his place in the team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously brought some substitutions on. Obviously, Harry Maguire came on for Bay. I thought Harry Maguire did very, very well when he came on, defended well. And it's good to see that Harry Maguire has bounced back from his early season troubles, because don't forget he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. Harry Maguire, certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we paid for him. We saw Anthony Martial come on. We saw Marcus Rashford come on. And we also saw Nemanja Matic come on. Now, I don't understand why Solskjaer didn't bring Odin Igalo on now. That is questionable. See, he's got something wrong there again. And like I've said on my recent videos, his decision-making does concern me. Solskjaer said prior to this game that Odin Igalo was going to be involved. So yeah, Odin Igalo didn't reunite with his former club. So like I say, weren't the best of performances, but all that matters is we are into the 4th round of the FA Cup. The FA Cup is a priority for us, because it is a chance for us getting a trophy on the board. We've not yet won a trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years now. We are the second most successful team in FA Cup history. We have won 12 FA Cups. But, as from a Watford perspective, I don't think they'll be too disappointed, just losing 1-0. Like I said, Watford had very, very good periods in the game where they could have easily scored. Obviously, Watford had Gray and Pedro up front. They had that Charleroi as well, if I pronounced his name correctly, and he looks dangerous at times. Backman in the Watford goal, he had to make a few saves. I didn't think he'd have started. I thought it might have been Ben Foster that would have started. Obviously, Ismail Assar was playing. There was no Troy Deeney. I actually thought Troy Deeney would have been involved. There was no James Garner involved for Watford, because he's prevented from playing against his parent club because of the FA rules. Don't forget, Watford got James Garner on loan from us. Watford obviously have got a few injuries. Obviously there was no Craig Cathcart. He was out with injury. Success, he's out with injury. Dele Bashiru, he's out with injury. Kerbisel, he's out with injury. And they've got another player out with injury as well. Watford's current manager is Cisco. They did appoint him in not so long ago. Before they had Vladimir Ivic. Vladimir Ivic was sacked last year. It was last month actually he was sacked. At one point they had Nigel Pearson, and they had him for several years. Like I said to you on the preview, we have played Watford in the FA Cup on 6 previous occasions, obviously before the game tonight. Obviously we played them in the semi-final back in April 2007, and we beaten them 4-1. Watford got relegated from the Premier League last season, and they are now in the Championship, and they are sitting 6th. But like I say, all that matters is for Man United. We've got the result. Good to get back to winning ways, because obviously we lost to Manchester City 2-0 in the EFL Cup semi-final, and that was very, very disappointing. Because I wanted, Solskjaer to reach his first final as Manchester United manager. And, that was 4 semi-final defeats in a row under Solskjaer. City have obviously reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. And it was the 2nd season in a row that City had beaten us in the semi-final. And I thought Solskjaer was naive in the game against City. But Solskjaer was saying prior to the game against City that there was no excuses if we lose another semi-final. Now, obviously, our next game is Burnley. That is on the 12th. And that is our game in hand. We were supposed to be playing Burnley on the opening day of the season, but it obviously got postponed. If we do beat Burnley, we will be 3 points clear of Liverpool. And then obviously if we beat Liverpool after Burnley, we'll be 6 points clear. But the performances have got to improve, and they have been improving in recent months. But, for the vast majority of the game tonight, it was a very, very poor performance. And for the vast majority of that game, we was there for the taking. And, and that's against the Championship side. We should be beating Burnley on Tuesday. To be fair though, Burnley I think have done well in recent weeks. Obviously they wasn't that good earlier on this season. Their current manager is Sean Dyche. The last time we lost at Turf Moor was back in 2009, and that was a goal from Robbie Blake. Obviously, we won at Turf Moor last season 2-0, but Burnley beating us at Old Trafford last season 2-0, and that was Burnley's first win at Old Trafford in 58 years. I know a few of Burnley's players. Obviously, their key players are Chris Wood, who they got from Leeds. They've got Jay Rodriguez, who's one of their key players. They've got Ashley Barnes, who's one of their key players. They've got Cork, who's one of their key players. They've got James Tarkowski, who's one of their key players. They also brought quite a few players in last year. They obviously brought Will Norris in. They brought Josh Brownhill in. They brought Dale Stevens in, and they brought Anthony Mancini in. Did Burnley. But yeah, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager at the end of this season. So I do think that he will be given another season at the football club. If he is, that will be his 3rd full season at Man United. I wouldn't say he's under pressure at the moment, but he has been under pressure quite a few times since he got appointed in as Man United manager. Because obviously we have endured bad periods under him. And don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to take over. Pochettino's now out of the equation because he's now at PSG. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been on our agenda a few times. Julian Nagelsmann was once on our agenda, and so too was Thomas Tuchel. Now, I'm not sure if Solskjaer is the right manager for Man United. Now, like I've said on my recent videos, earlier on this season, I was demanding him out of the football club, and I was very, very critical of him, reflecting how inconsistent we have been. But with how good we have been in recent months, my perception has slowly started to change on him. Now, some Man United fans are Ollie in, and some Man United fans are Ollie out. You know what I mean? we obviously all want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but you can say there's still a few things that he's learning on the job. He's obviously gained some managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been at the club. You know, Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager now for just over 2 years. He's managed over 100 games for the club in all competitions, and he has got a contract with us until 2022. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. You know, we did give him the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Now, we have got to make signings in this January transfer window. We'll obviously be looking to make signings in the summer transfer window as well. But you can say it's another transfer window where Solskjaer's been let down. Got to say he's been let down in all of his transfer windows since he got appointed in as Man United manager. Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough, and he certainly wasn't backed enough last summer because the board went back in the signings that he wanted to recommend in, and Woodward has said that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this January transfer window. Don't forget, he said a few times last year that we're not expecting a busy January transfer window. This transfer window, Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Man United manager. A centre-half is our priority. We definitely need a centre-half. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, Moises Caicedo to Man United is off now. That's not going to happen. There's rumours about Dayot Upamecano coming out again. Jack Grealish, there is a chance that Man United will sign him, but I think we'll only sign him if we do sell Paul Pogba. Jadon Sancho. You know, do you think we're going to go in for him? I think he'll leave next summer if he leaves Sancho. He won't leave in this January transfer window. We've been in for Haaland, but I'm expecting Haaland to leave next year. You know, when Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, like I said, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. You know, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Solskjaer recently held talks with 6 players he wants to get rid of in this January transfer window. Now, the players we're going to be getting rid of, I think we're going to offload Lingard, we're going to offload Jones, we're going to offload Rojo and Romero. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Watford that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window. Their contracts won't be extended. Obviously, Brandon Williams is looking likely he's going out on loan. You know, Williams is now our 3rd choice left back. There's obviously been rumours of Daniel James going out on loan. I'm expecting Odin Ighalo to leave in this January window. His loan expires on the end of this month. As you all know, Timothy Fosu-Mensah is leaving the club in this January transfer window. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said he is allowed to. Timothy Fosu-Mensah joined our academy from Ajax in 2014. He's played 30 games for Man United. He's played 3 games this season. The only game he started was Palace on the opening day of the season. And he recently rejected a 3.5-year deal. And don't forget, he said that Marcelo and Hertha are interested and they're willing to pay a small fee. And don't forget, he had loan spells with Crystal Palace and Fulham. Timothy Fosu-Mensah can play as a fullback, a centre-half and a defensive midfielder. But like I say, we have got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer some credit. You know, at the end of the day, he's got us joint top of the Premier League table. You know, he did get us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He's now got us to the 4th round of the FA Cup. He did well last season, his first full season. He got us qualification for the Champions League, got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. Like I said to you, Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough, but despite that, he's still made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the football club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagala in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. Amad Diallo Traore to Man United was recently official. And we've seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. We've seen players like Lukaku and Herrera leave. We've seen Darmian leave. We've seen Smalling leave. We've seen Valencia leave. We've seen Young leave. We've seen Gomez leave. We've seen Sanchez leave. Obviously, we loaned a few players out. Like I said, we loaned James Garner out. We loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. Dylan Levitt, we did loan him out, I think, to Charlton, but now he's back at Man United because I think his loan at Charlton has been terminated. So, yeah, you've got to take positives from Solskjaer's tenure, and we are unbeaten in our last 10 league games, and we've done very, very well away from home this season. We haven't lost away from home yet in the Premier League this season. You can say Solskjaer's done well. To say he isn't a top-level manager, the question is, can he emulate into a top-level manager? Because he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Before he came to Man United, where was he? Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club, are they? And obviously before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But, if we do sack Solskjaer within time to come, it wouldn't really solve a lot anyway. Because we're not known as a sacking football club, are we? Despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left. The 3 managers who sacked since Ferguson left was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. But there's 3 trophies we can pursue this season. We can win the FA Cup, we can win the Europa League, and we can win the Premier League. So I said to you, if we can win a trophy this season, if we can finish in the top 4, the top 3, then I think that would represent a very good season for Man United, like I've already said, and that will give us something to build on. If we won the Premier League title, that would be remarkable, but I'm very, very sceptical of that. Don't forget, Solskjaer did say after our 1-0 win against Wolves that we're not in the title races yet, but he said if we are still challenging at the top come March, he'll start to believe that we are in the title race. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. But, we cannot beat the big teams, and that's certainly been proven this season under Solskjaer. Because we haven't beaten Tottenham this season, lost to them 6-1. We haven't beaten City this season, lost to them in the Cup 2-0, drew with them 0-0 in the league. I haven't beaten Chelsea, drew with them 0-0. I haven't beaten Arsenal, lost to them 1-0. Didn't beat Leicester, drew with them 2-2. So there you go. But like I said, on tonight's game, we rested key players. Obviously, there was no David De Gea. He'll be back in goal for Burnley, I should presume. Obviously, there was no Wan-Bissaka. He'll be back for Burnley as well. Lindelof, he didn't play any part tonight. Lindelof's obviously back from injury because he played against Man City. Shaw, he should be back for Burnley because Shaw didn't play any part tonight. Tellez was there instead. Paul Pogba, he didn't play any part tonight, so he'll be playing against Burnley, I think. Fred, I think he should also be playing against Burnley. Bruno Fernandes, he also didn't play any part tonight. Obviously, earlier on today, I give you the news on Paul Pogba. He says that Ed Woodward is preparing to enter contract talks with Paul Pogba and his agent Mino Raiola. Pogba's got around 18 months left on his contract. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. You know, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Juventus. Don't forget, Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison, and you know, swap deals have been high on the agenda. He said we're interested in an exchange deal for Pogba, but Juventus recently offered us Aaron Ramsey as part of a deal for Pogba. We rejected that. They offered us Douglas Costa as part of a deal for Pogba. We also rejected that. I think we want a world-class player in exchange. But it said that Juventus are only willing to pay £50 million for him in this January transfer window anyway. You know, Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, and before Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that he can be convinced to stay at the club if we do win trophies. But yeah, if Pogba believes it will be this summer, it won't be this January transfer window. But to Paul Pogba's credit, he has done well since he come back from that ankle injury, because he did have an ankle injury earlier on in the season. He was also out with an ankle injury last season, and he was out for the vast majority of last season. Don't forget, Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola told 2 Sport last month that, you know, Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. And then obviously Mino Raiola slightly changed his statement. Obviously, Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. This is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. He's our most expensive sign at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. So there you go. And Edinson Cavani has now served his 3-match ban. So Cavani is also going to be available for Burnley. Don't know if he'll start, but he should be involved if he doesn't start. Solskjaer was talking about Edinson Cavani not so long ago. He did say that Edinson Cavani is definitely a starter for Man United. He said that we want to extend his contract, and Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Edinson Cavani asked him when he came to the club, and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. So there you go. So on my next video, I will be giving you my player ratings from this game. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.